Um, my thoughts on low tier God. And to tell you the truth, man, low tier God says some very interesting things, which I agree with, especially when it pertains to black people. I mean, some of the things that he said about black people are true. It really is true. I mean, you can't deny it, man. You know, if you live in the black community for such amount of years, you begin to realize some of the things that he said in the past about black people. He was right. He was right on about that. But there were other things that he was wrong too. You know, it's a lot of things I can't really name it right now, but there was other things that what he said in the past it was wrong too. Um, when it comes to him playing games, listen, I respect his hustle as far as his covenant. You know, the low tier God covenant people, whatever. You know, I commend him for that. I congratulate him on his hustle. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, do what you got to do to make a buck. You know what I'm saying? It's your life. It's your world. It's your hustle. You know what I'm saying? You do your thing. But here's what grinds my gears about low tier God. When he plays video games, he always want to talk about, oh, this person keeps on doing the same old thing, spamming this and spamming that. But once you really think about it, he was doing the spamming as well when it comes to doing certain moves. And also, when it comes to him, like when it comes to him playing fighting games, for example, Street Fighter, like so he complains about players doing certain types of moves over and over and over again. But at the same time, it's like if you listen, low tier God, if you know that these players are going to, if you know, or if you're predicting that these players are going to do this, that, and the third, why don't you adapt instead of just complaining? You know what I'm saying? You always complain about how people be doing certain moves, but your lack of adaptation, your lack of adaptation is ridiculous. When it comes to fighting games, you have to learn to adapt. And that's when I realized that you're not good at that. You're very stationary. You refuse to change. You refuse to to improve yourself. You refuse to improve your game, you know? And you know what too, man? I don't want to be rude or disrespectful. I don't know the guy like that. But for what I saw online and his interactions with people, when it comes to his relationship life, his previous relationship with that girl Elena, or whatever, it lets me know that how can I put this in so many words? He fails to adapt when it comes to that as well. When it comes to his relationship, he fails to adapt. When it comes to knowing your girl's feelings, when it comes to knowing certain things, when it comes to knowing certain things about your girl, as a man, you should pick up on it. As a boyfriend, you should pick up on it. And also, I don't want to sound like an asshole or anything, but like he wasn't considerate when it came to his girlfriend at the time. He's not very considerate. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. You don't want to, be like a pushover towards your girl. You know, so you don't want to be you know, a simp towards your girl per se. But at the same time, you still have to be courteous and still, take into consideration of your girlfriend's feelings. You know what I'm saying? You have to. Women are very emotional, man. I understand. We listen. That old cliche, what I just said right there about females being very emotional, is true. It's an old cliche, but damn it, it is so true. You know what I'm saying? We listen. We as men, we're logical, and when it comes to females, their emotions are so out of place to the point that we as men can't comprehend too much when it comes to our girlfriend's feelings or when it comes to our wife's feelings and all that stuff, man. But we try our best. We as men, we try our best, man, when it comes to actually understanding our women's feelings. But we can pick up some things, but you have guys that just don't give a fuck. That really just don't give a fuck. But they don't take into consideration about what your girlfriend is feeling, or just certain things like certain cues that a man should pick up when it comes to that girl, stuff like that. And low tier God wasn't doing that. I don't think he wasn't doing that too much. And it shows is his level of immaturity, not just within video games, but within real life as well. In real life, you have to adapt into new surroundings, into new situations. And when it came to his relationship, man, that should have been a lesson learned to him. That should have been a lesson learned for him to do better. So what I'm saying. So when the next girl comes along, he should know what to do and what not to do, because him dealing with Elena after for so long, like, listen, I don't want to sound like a douche or a know-it-all, but in my honest opinion, that I knew that relationship was not going to last long because of his level of maturity. And to tell you the truth, when he was dealing with Elena, he was basically immature. He was immature when it came to certain aspects in a relationship. But like I said, that's the past now. We're dealing with the present. So the present now, in my honest opinion, I don't think he hasn't learned his lessons at all when it comes to his past relationships, nor dealing with video games. I really think and believe that he hasn't learned his lessons. He's still doing the same old thing, rage quitting, complaining about certain players, what I'm saying, lacking adaptation. And when it comes to talking about girls, he refused to do better. He refused to better himself as a human being. Working out is one thing, but when it comes to the mental aspect, and you know what? He always talk about the mental. He always talking about intelligence. Well, if you're so damn intelligent, if you can think for yourself to a high degree, why don't you work on yourself? Not just in video games, but also in life as well. Learn to mature, man. Learn to do better. You call yourself low tier God. You're a God, right? Well, guess what? A God should have self awareness. I say it again. A God should have self awareness about what he or she, about what he's doing. A God should always have self awareness about where he's at right now at this point. And where you at right now, low tier God, you're getting close to 40. You're getting close to 40. And around this time, you should really learn how to adapt. Not just playing in video games, but when it comes to life, especially when it comes to dealing with girls. Don't get me wrong, man. You got your own apartment, you got your house, you hustling. That's good. But when it comes to the intellect, man, or when it comes to emotional intelligence, I kind of sense that you lack that. You really do, and it shows when you start playing video games, and it also shows to some degree. No, actually, it did show. It showed to some degree when you was with your when you was with your ex girlfriend Elena. And as a god, low tier god, as a god, you should know and understand your self awareness. You should know what to do and what not to do. It's all about self improvement, man. In life, it's not always about the money. It's about self improvement. It's about knowing thyself, doing for self, and self improvement. That's it. It doesn't matter how much money you got in the bank, nigga. It doesn't matter how you came up for the rags and riches story, nigga. It's all about how you are as a competent human being. That is all. That is it, man. So to low tier God, man, listen. Overall, I said best wishes. I said I give you, low. I listen. I give you respect. I give you my respect. So keep on doing your thing with the whole covenant thing, making money, hustling on YouTube and Twitch, do all that stuff, man. Get your money, dog. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, or when it comes to intellect, like you claim that you have, a certain level degree of intellect, your intelligence will let you know that you must do better. You must improve yourself. You must understand your self awareness. You must have self awareness about yourself. But that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. You know, like I said, man, more power to low tier God and his endeavors. But He has to learn how to self-improve. He has to learn how to adapt, not just in video games, but in real life, and also with relationships too. Because we've seen it all throughout YouTube. We've seen it throughout the years of YouTube. While you being on YouTube, on live stream and all that stuff, so we've seen your behavior patterns. And now you have a nice amount of people that can recognize or pinpoint your your relationship patterns, and that's not good. If your if your emotional patterns, if your emotional patterns is on the negative side of things, if it's on a negative scale, you gotta fix that shit, man. You gotta fix that shit because I realize, man, we as men, we're not getting younger. We're getting older. We should age like fine wine, not spoiled milk. But that's all I gotta say about that, man. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much, and have a good day.